Hi everybody and welcome back to Noms. I hope this is a hint to what we're about to do. I don't know how I feel about it.
From classics to children's books, you never know what she's gonna cook when Gretchen makes novel moms.
Alright, so I'm gonna do Twilight. Listen, I used to teach English. I was a middle school English teacher a long time ago. And I encourage children to read good books that nourish their minds and their souls. I don't know that Twilight is that book. I don't know that those series of books exactly do that. I have issues with the whole girl-boy crazy, even though he is a vampire, werewolf thing, whatever. But people love these books. And what I love about that is that I love any books that get kids to read, or people of any age to read, so people that maybe wouldn't have picked up a book before will pick up Twilight. So that being said, this week I am going to, inspired by Twilight, you know, the apple on the book, I'm going to make an apple, cheddar, bacon quiche with a Bloody Bella smoothie. So my understanding about the books, I will admit that I haven't read them. Maybe you could tell me why you love those books down below. I don't need you to convert me, I just am curious. My understanding about the reason for the apple on the cover of the first book, because the apple represents that forbidden fruit. And you know, eggs actually, I keep going back and forth in terms of, are they good for you or are they bad for you? And I thought, you know what, they're a little bit forbidden. We're gonna put those in with our apples for some Twilight, some bacon, I don't know, consider it werewolf meat. I don't know. Plus, this on the 14th of March, which is normally the Ides of March, if you ever read Shakespeare, hopefully you've read Shakespeare, is National Pie Day, P-I, 3.14, and then all those numbers after it. So we're gonna make a pie or a quiche. There you go. I'm gonna put the oven on about 400 and get that started baking. And the first thing I'm gonna do is get my fixins ready to go into my quiche. Quiche is super easy and it's super filling, and you wouldn't, people think it's really, really bad for you. It really doesn't have to be. This is gonna be super special, wonderful, pure ingredients. Quiche, it's all about what you wanna put in it. So if you don't wanna put these fixins, you can put whatever you want, but we're gonna make some goodness. The first thing I'm gonna take, I have 2 pieces of hickory apple smoked bacon. Now I'm making one little dish that is probably good for one person, so obviously you wanna double. I'll put the full recipe down below for more servings. So I'm just going to take this bacon and I'm just going to chop it up into little pieces. Little bite-sized pieces. I don't want to have to pull out a long string of bacon out of my quiche. Then I'm also going to cut up 1 apple. And you know, a lot of people have those cores where they take the core and they push down and then they cut the pieces. This is an easier way to do it. You're going to cut it 4 times. So you're going to cut it, basically you're cutting it around the core. So 1 cut, 2 cuts, 3 cuts, 4 cuts. There's your core. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so I'm going to take my apple and I'm going to slice it. And then I'm going to dice it. Again, we want to make it easy so that when you take a bite of your quiche, you don't just get a huge hunk of apple. You get a little bit of apple, a little bit of bacon, a little bit of all the goodness that's in here. Again, quiche is something fantastic to play around with the ingredients. This could definitely be completely vegetarian. Leave out the bacon. And you know, if you don't like bacon, you could use a sausage. Would be really, really delicious. Like a sage sausage would be delicious in here. You know, you can really do a lot of things with this and kind of play around with it and see what you like best, but apple and bacon and cheddar go together, deliciousness. So I've got a little saute pan on the stove and I'm going to toss my bacon in there, and I only want it to be about 2/3 of the way up. I don't want it on high because that will just burn the crap out of your bacon really fast. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned from a cooking show was Emerald taught me that there are other settings on the knob besides high. I used to cook everything on high, and this is my husband too taught me, turn things down, let them cook. They don't burn and get crazy. Let them take their time. Bam! Gonna add in all of that apple, and we're not gonna cook the apple all the way. We're just gonna cook for about 1.5 minutes or so until it starts to caramelize. You want the apple flavor and the smoky flavor all to kind of meld together. Just gonna put a little sprinkling of salt. Salt actually brings out the sweetness in a lot of things, in a lot of fruits and stuff. I know people that put salt on the watermelon. So my bacon's starting to get a little crispier on the edges. You can get that bacon as crispy as you like it, but I still like it to have a little bit of a bite to it. Apples are getting a little bit brown, and that's when I want to take it off the heat. So I have a little baking dish. I'm not doing a crust in my quiche because of my issues, but you could get a store-bought crust. You can make your own crust. You just want to put it in here and bake it first, and then have it cool down when you put all your fillings in there. So that's what you do. Take my bacon and my apples. I'm going to put it down into the bottom. About an ounce of cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar cheese, goes great with apples. My dad actually liked to put cheddar cheese on apple pie, but you can use whatever cheddar or whatever flavor of cheese that you like. When I went to pick up my fruit and vegetable basket this morning from Bountiful Baskets, I noticed it was Jacob's Park that I picked it up from, where I got my apple. It's fate. I guess that means I'm Team Jacob. I got 2 eggs. Aren't they pretty? Look at that blue. I got those from the farmer's market last weekend. I have 2 eggs. I'm just going to break those into my bowl. Fresh, beautiful eggs. Beat those up just a little bit. And I'm going to keep whipping that up. So I got 2 eggs, and I have a half a cup of milk. Cream is an option if you want heavy cream. If you want half and half, you could do that to make it even creamier. I'm just using a 1% milk, and I'm just going to drizzle that in while I whip up those eggs. Get it all incorporated. I'm going to take some nutmeg, and I'm going to put that in my eggs, just a little bit here. I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit on that apple bacon mixture, just a little. Inch of salt. You're going to take the egg, pour it down over all that mixture. So you could put, like I said, whatever you want. If you don't want to do apple, you want to do zucchini or whatever vegetables. Fresh tomatoes would be great, with basil and mozzarella. You do like a caprese quiche. How amazing is that? But I like this. So play with it. Put it in what you like. If you like Jacob, if you like Edward. And it's just like a cake. You'll know it's done when a knife comes out of the center clean. It doesn't have all kinds of goo. Plus, when you kind of move it, you can see the middle jiggle. That means it's not cooked all the way through yet. So you want it to be firm all the way through. Okay, now before I put this in the oven, I have to give it one more little Twilight sparkle. As you know, Edward is a vampire, and he's a vampire because he sparkles. I went to Michael's, to the cake decorating section, and I found edible glitter. You have to make sure it says edible on there. The package even says edible glitter. You know, it's got to be food grade. You want people eating weird crap. So I'm just going to take a little of this. I know, I'm so disappointed in myself right now. I'm going to take a little bit of that edible glitter, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on the top. Hopefully it will sparkle in the sunshine. Sparkles. I'm just going to stick this in the oven on about 400 until it's just cooked all the way through. Okay, now it's time for the smoothie, which, by the way, I'm currently obsessed with smoothies. Is there an easy way to get like your fruits and veggies in without having to sit down and like gnaw on an apple, which just doesn't really appeal to me, but I love to put fun fruits into a smoothie. It's delicious. And it's perfect for breakfast in the morning. So we have Bella. You heard of Bloody Mary, right? It's tomato juice and all that good stuff. I'm going to cut my veggies. I'm going to cut up some strawberries. I'm doing all red fruits, as you can tell, for the bloody Twilight-y thing. So I've got some red ripe strawberries. And I have a beet. That's big and scary and ugly and gross looking, isn't it? But it is really good for you. It's like it's ridiculously high in vitamin A. It's got vitamin C. It's got all these kind of great things in there for you. And if you eat them raw, they're even better for you. So I'm just going to cut off the top and the bottom. Look at the color of that. Isn't that gorgeous? If you boil this in water for about 10 minutes, the skin is easier to get off, but I'm just going to peel it myself because I'm hardcore. I'm just going to peel the skin. She knows my hands are probably going to start turning blood red. That's fantastic. So, you can eat the beet tops, but you have to cook them because they have like some weird acid in them. I can't remember what it starts with an O. I don't remember. But you have to steam them, but you could use them just like any bitter greens. I'm going to chop up some of this beet. I'm not going to use this whole thing because that would be a little bit much. I'm just going to chop it up so that my little blender here can handle it. I'm going to put in probably about that much, maybe about a quarter cup of the beet. And then what I like to do for the rest of the week is chop up stuff like this and just have it in a baggie in the refrigerator so that when I go to make my smoothie, it's all ready to go and I can just throw in a handful of already cut up fruits and veggies. Alright, so I'm going to save that for another smoothie. So I've got strawberry, I've got that blood red beet, and last thing, I have blood orange. I was so excited I could find this at the grocery store. I got that reddish orange in the middle. It's a little sunrise. I'm going to cut it this way so you can see it even better. Ooh, scary. Who knew oranges could be scary? So I'm just going to I just like quarter it and then pull the peel off of it that way. And stick the whole thing in there. Even if it's got seeds, it's going to give you a little bit of fiber. You'll be okay. I'm just going to add 2 ice cubes just to get it nice and icy. I don't want to go over, too crazy with the ice. And I'm going to add green tea. This is a great base. You add anything that's pre-sweetened. This is unsweetened green tea, and it's so good for you. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that. Just so it gives me the liquid that I need to have everything move around. It looks like a science experiment. Put my little cap on. Stick it on my blender and blend it. Ooh. Now, you could add all kinds of things to this if you would like to be adventurous and adult. You could add some champagne, some peach schnapps would be really yummy in there. So any kind of schnapps would be really yummy in there. But the champagne would be kind of like a mimosa to go with your quiche. I'm going to stick this in my freezer to keep it extra cold while we're waiting for our quiche to be ready. Okay, so it's time to take it out of the oven. Oh, it looks so good. See some of that cheese and the apples and bacon all kind of rose to the top. Now you could serve this right in a dish this size. That would obviously be fine. I'm going to take it out of here. There's our quiche. So pretty. Look at that. Blah. And I forgot to mention too that when I was researching beets and how good they are for you and everything, it actually says in there that beets are good for your blood. I swear. Alright, so I've got a little piece of blood orange. I'm gonna put that on there to make it pretty. How fantastic of a breakfast would that be? Alright, so I'm gonna give this a little try. And it's great because you get tons of those apples in there. You could add onions if you wanted to add those. Holy cow, that is really good. You really get the smokiness from the bacon and kind of that bite of the cheese with the cheddar, and the apple has a little tartness, a little sweetness, and the salt and all the nutmeg and everything we put in there really kind of just makes this beautiful balanced dish. Oh, it was so good. And because you use fresh ingredients and fresh apples, it's just so healthy and good for you. Just like our Lady Bella. Now, ooh, that's really good. But the beet taste is probably a little bit strong. If you kind of start playing around with your fruits and vegetables to put them in your smoothie and you notice that, I need some kind of sweetness in there, add some more fruit. You could add a little bit of agave syrup or a little regular sugar if that's what you want. You could use regular fruit juice if you want a sweeter flavor, but I like it kind of like this. I don't like super sweet things. But that's really good, and this is going to be really good for you. Listen, people, I did Twilight. Gotta give it up. So we got our Bloody Bella. We have our apple egg, devourable, yummy Edward quiche. I don't know. But I noticed too that the little sprinkles that I put on top of the glitter, they kind of sunk into the cheese. So I'm just or that could be like a little garnish. Because, you know, that's the whole point, is you're doing like a little Twilight weirdness. There we go. There you go. It's got a little bit of a sparkle. I'm going to eat this and drink my Bloody Bella. You will make this and enjoy this and make it to your taste. And read Twilight if you want to read Twilight. Listen. As I was making this, I kept being reminded of other books that are kind of like bloody and gross. Like Othello is one of my favorite Shakespearean plays. It's all about the blood, and Macbeth is all about the blood. I prefer you read Shakespeare, but go read Twilight if you want to read Twilight. I don't care. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great week, and I hope you go check out my website that I started. It's novelnoms.com, so go check it out. And I'm still putting some stuff up, so be patient with me. Maybe put some comments below what you'd like to see on that website. And don't forget that I have a P.O. box that you can send me suggestions and challenges and fun mail, and I appreciate everything you guys give me that gives me feedback for this show. So thank you, and have a great week, and here's to Twilight.